Hi, this is Deborah, Dinglefoot Scrapbooking, and pardon my voice, I've had a cold, so it's kind of rough yet. But this week I wanted to show you how to make a stair-step card. So this is one I made for a wedding, and if you can see, I have little steps going up. And this back one, the biggest step, I made it big enough that I could put a photo in. So a lot of invitations now have a picture of the couple, and all I did was photocopy the picture on their invitation and just used it for my card. So you'll need a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and you're going to need a cutting mat and a knife. So I have mine back here. If you can see it back there, that teal colored mat. You'll need a ruler, and I have this nice draft ruler that I can keep the top straight with that. And you'll need something to score with, so whether you have a ruler and a scoring tool, whatever you have, that will work, and a pencil. So simple as that. So what we're going to do is start off by turning our piece of paper this way, the long ways. Or like they tell my kids in their art class, shower or bathtub. We want ours like a shower. And so we're going to measure over from this left side here. We're just going to measure over to where 2 inches is and just make a mark. So don't worry if you have pencil marks on it. Just draw them lightly so that you can erase them later. I'm going to move my scoring board out of the way here just for a minute because I'm going to need my cutting mat pretty soon. We only make one cut in this whole card. So we have our ruler sitting there at the 2-inch mark, lined up with that 2-inch mark. But I'm going to take my pencil now and mark on my card here 1¼ inches the whole way down to 6¼ inches. And that's going to be the only line that I cut on this card. So I'm going to take my knife. And don't worry if you get a little off. You can adjust some of your score lines so that it matches right there. See if I can see where I am. It's a little hard to do this sideways. So I want to drag this right along my ruler here, the whole way down to 6¼ inches. So we should have this hole in our card just like this. Now we're going to turn it sideways, this way, okay? So now we have it laying like a bathtub, and I'm just going to take my ruler and lay it along the bottom. So these are not going to be cut, these are going to be scored, and my first one's going to be at 2¼ inches, and if you notice, it's going to line right up with that cut, or it should. If it doesn't, just slightly adjust where you're going to score. And I like to mark these first instead of just going ahead and scoring. Just mark them just to make sure I'm going to be in the right place. Now our next one is going to be at 4¼ inches, and that's actually the middle of our card. So this one right here, this one is going to go the whole way up. So when I score the other ones, they're only going to go to the cut line, except for the middle one, which is going to go the whole length. So that's 2¼ and then 4¼ My next one's going to be at 5½ inches, 6½ inches, and then 7¼ inches. And if you notice, that one also lines up with this cut line. And if it doesn't, when you go to score it, just adjust it so that it does. Okay, so now that I have those marked, I have an older scoring board, so I don't have lines everywhere that they should be. Some of mine are 1/2 inch, so sometimes I can't just lay it right on here and because I don't have a 2¼ and all that. So I just have to make sure that when I score that I actually have mine where a line goes. Some of the newer scoreboards are quite nice where they have so many lines on them and you just can't go wrong. You just always have a line right where you need it. So I'm just going to go ahead and score all these lines where I marked them. So just make sure it lines up and score it. Easy as that. Okay. And I'm going to finish this and then I'll be right back. So I finished my scoring, and if you can see, my card is situated with this long piece here on the right. And so I turned my paper around so that this these smaller ones are at the bottom and the bigger ones at the top. So you can make yours the other way around if you want to. So you would have, you would start on the other side of the sheet. So you always want to make sure that you have your paper with the right side up that you want to be folding so that your card turns out the way you want. So you can make this completely opposite if you want this big part on the other side. There's no problem at all, whichever way you want to do it. So now I'm going to start folding. This one comes up, and the next little one I fold down in, up, down in, and then down. And then of course this one that's in the middle, you just crease it, and you might want to take your bone folder, make sure all your creases are really nice and even. So here you can see that we have this beautiful shape, and then all you do is just make your different panels the way that you want them. So this card isn't quite finished. In this one I'm going to put a little greeting from my family right in here. So this part here I think is approximately 3.5 inches by 3 7/8 inches, something like that. So I just cut their photo out and then just matted it and made sure it fit in the slot. So simple as that. We have our little card shape, and you can see how it'll work and look like this one. So I hope you get a chance to try this. Thanks so much for watching.